Alrighty, good evening everybody and welcome back to Simtrax Broadcasting. This is Patrick Morrison coming to you live here with the USORL Series here at Atlanta for the Kelloggs 150 here tonight. We're taking a look at the number 21 Toyota of Darren Ingram currently during his qualifying lap as we have already broken over that halfway point. Douglas Ross will be joining alongside me tonight to give a little insight on a track like this. Extremely fast, and a lot of drivers are pretty happy about returning back to the old Atlanta before it turned into the Super Speedway. A lot wider, a lot faster. Drivers will be enjoying their time out here tonight, but we talked a little bit before the broadcast here, Douglas, and you were talking a little bit about there may be some traction issues out there, and we're wondering if any sort of weather dynamics may be changing to make it either better or for worse.
Yes, most definitely. And I can tell you this, weather is definitely going to be playing into a factor when it comes to track temperature. As of right now, we are at a whopping 107-degree track temperature. So that's really going to play effect into some of these drivers tonight. And I have been talking, yes, I've been viewing a lot of the drivers, and a lot of the drivers have been getting very loose when it comes to this track. Now, we do have to remind everybody this is the 2008 layout. So, yes, it's going to be more speed, but traction is definitely going to be playing a factor tonight in tonight's game.
4 drivers have not qualified yet tonight. John Peterson, Daryl Harris, and both the Bordeaux's, Hen Bordeaux and Tommy, have not shown up in their Fords yet. I'm hoping they're going to get a little more time, but it looks like about 15 seconds, and that's going to do it. And they're not going to be able to get out there on the track, I think. Yep. John Peterson's looking to get out there. It'll show him, quote, starting. So now he'll have a 17th place start here tonight. Only a couple Toyotas, actually 3 Toyotas racing here tonight. One of them is outside the top 10. The other 2 are currently sitting in the number 1 and number 2 spot. So as these drivers get ready to go here, their qualifying has completed. They're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a warm-up here to see if they can rubber up the track just a hair here at Atlanta. I would say it's not that much of a concern, but you were talking about that the possibilities of guys slipping around are going to be some trouble out there. And I would say, yep, well, might want to go down there and get a few scuffs on the tires out there. That way they go ahead and put down their best performance to kick off the night. So let's go ahead and take a look at what tonight is going to consist of, and that's going to be 100 laps, 4 sets of tires in the pits. Very unusual amount of tires here for the Xfinity cars that they'll be running here tonight. Of course, that fuel limit will be sitting at the wonderful 67%. No fast repairs in this fixed setup league. But that track temperature, I'm starting to think that might be our issue. 105 degrees out there. Pretty slick here, and I guess that's why they call it Hot Atlanta out here. A lot of guys are going to be trying to see if they can push past the heat out there. The key is if they can race cleanly, safely, and a lot, I would say, conservatively out there, that the tires will be able to maintain a certain amount of heat without overheating them, melting them to the track, and then wearing out faster than they need to be.
Most definitely, and I think a lot of these drivers tonight are definitely going to be putting those 4 sets of tires to good use tonight, as it is going to take a while for these tires to break in with this track layout and the track temperature. So could be tire conservation mode when it comes to tonight's race.
All right. Now, right now we are taking a look at Richie Joplin out there, who's currently sitting in that number 1 spot here during the warm-up. 31.87. I bet you wish he would have qualified a little faster than that. But here during the warm-up, a couple of guys are kind of keeping it in check out there of what adjustments they can make. Currently, with a fixed setup league, only brake bias is really something they can be messing with out there, or any kind of steering angle. Here in the Xfinity cars, it's pretty tough here. Which line these guys consider taking, I think it would probably be more on the suicidal end if we see guys down there rubbing the paint toward the bottom of the track. I just don't think that's going to be a fast line and not a consistent line. You really want to kind of stay above that first seam, and the guys will have a lot of speed out there for a longer amount of the race. We kind of zoom in here on Kerry Rogers in the number 12 Ford. Kind of reminds me of, if I'm not mistaken, driver used to see Andrew St. Cour out there, as he as well as in the Advanced Auto Parts machine. and trying to lay down some laps out here. Atlanta's been pretty tough here for a lot of the drivers, especially some of these guys who haven't been able to get out there and be fast. William Page being one of them. He would like to get that mellow yellow machine into victory lane here. But previous winners here of this race, 3 of them through season 2, 3, and 4 went to Jake Oakley. Season 6 and 7 went to Steven Merzlak. Now, I'm not showing right now at Jake Oakley out there, but Steven Merzlak will be on the track here tonight. Ooh, look like that's 71. There's a little bit of that slip and slide you were talking about earlier. Yeah, it almost looked like he set that up on purpose, trying to figure out what it's going to do out there. Tough look. All right, Jeff Dixon as well on Season 8 and Season 9 went to Sean Whitehill. Now, I know they had kind of not been racing here at this track, kind of laying off a little bit to go ahead and, I would say, give this track some time to itself, not out here racing each and every season. So they had skipped quite a few. I'm sure we'll see if Mama Goose is going to be out there tonight, as Dawson Guzik will be out there on the track. Dawson raced last night in the Bandit Racing League, out there with his brother Brett. So both those guys were doing pretty well until the end of the race, which that seems to be kind of the MO. A lot of guys doing pretty fast speeds out there, able to get around the track, no problems, staying out of trouble, and then just those last 25 laps. They definitely see if they get collected. Hey, check that out in the chat, Mama Goose. Out there in the chat. Appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us here tonight. As Jay is out there, he normally beats us here if I have the stream up. So Jay out there, our hardcore viewer. This is exactly how Stella ended up in the booth. All right, Mama's in the house. And Douglas, any last words to add here, buddy, about this race and kind of what we're going to be looking forward to, really things we should keep a look out for out there before we get this underway?
I mean, I could tell you this. Tonight's race is just going to be all about patience, and patience is going to be the key when it comes to a layout like this, because with people slipping and sliding everywhere, people are going to be trying different grooves around the track, trying to find the best line. So it's really about patience and strategy are the two key things that are going to take place tonight.
Yep. All right, drivers getting on the track here. A couple of them already lined up. Justin Krasinski sitting in the number 1 spot, and Noah Joyce sitting second. Look at them populate out there, so that means it is go time for us here in the booth to go ahead and get ready for these guys out there on the track. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid here for tonight. There we go. Justin Krasinski and Noah Joyce. I said those guys were starting originally in that front row. They're going to take off here at the start. Cal Lovell and Blake Trawick right now 3rd and 4th. Dawson Guzik will be sitting 5th next to Scott Fleener. Garrett Sidnor sitting 7th, and Richie Joplin. We saw he was pretty quick during the warm-ups, but 8th is where he's going to start here tonight. William Page. See if the Mellow Yellow machine could have a good run here tonight in the 42. Luke Smith, Crement out there with the Purple Frog Sim Sports starting in 10th. Moving on to Darren Ingram, who is 11th. Cam Barnes starting in 12th. Rotating back to the remainder here of this field where Steven Merzlak, a previous 2-time winner here at Atlantis for season 6 and 7, will be starting 13th next to Michael Murata, who will be 14th. Zach Krastowski, Kerry Rogers, Tommy Bordeaux, and Daryl Harris will go ahead and populate the rest of our field. A couple more drivers out there as John Peterson will be in the 43. He'll be unfortunately here way in the back of the pack. And I'm checking to see if maybe we have an update. I am not seeing Hen Bordeaux taking behind the wheel, so I may be just one driver short of 20 cars out here on the field. As we get ready to get this one underway, pace car is off the track, and we're getting ready to get this one going. And green flag is out, and away we go.
Green flag is out, and Justin Krasneski starting on the front row with Noah Joyce. Right now, all the drivers going down. Noah Joyce really getting a run on the outside line, and Joyce is going to take over the number 1 spot. Justin Krasneski will have to settle into spot number 2.
Yeah, Krasneski's looking to hold on, though, in the 05 Toyota. Both the Toyotas sitting in the front row. They're sitting 1 and 2. Cal Lovell with a full pack of 4 more drivers, and their Fords are looking to chase them down. I expect Cal Lovell to have a good race here tonight. We talked to his race team out there in the Lowe's Cobalt machine, and they were saying, hey, they were feeling pretty solid out there on the track. Had a good lookout for today, especially with the 3rd place qualifying position. They're going to go ahead and keep that roll going here. But still, battle rages on here for our guys here in the front. Krasneski looking to take that spot back from Noah Joyce here on lap number 2. He's going to have it as we come up to Barney here in just a moment, right? Yep, Krasneski's going to have it there at the line.
Krasneski regaining back the lead. Cal Lovell right there in his tire tracks, though. Lovell looks like he's going to move into spot number 2, and look who's following him, trying to get the number 3 spot. That is Garrett Sidnor trying to go for spot number 3.
Yeah, Sidnor in the number 54. You see him there toward the inside in the yellow and red machine. The Sunoco 31 and Noah Joyce looks to be on the march back. But I definitely want to put a circle out there around Dawson Guzik. Right now he's looking like he was going to send it 3 wide up toward the top. He's getting a fresh breath of fresh air to the front side of that Ford. But look, there he is again, riding the top seam. And I don't know what that's going to do as we head down the backstretch. Yep, sends it 3 wide here as the 49 of Scott Fleener is hanging on the bottom.
Joyce right now, the meat in the sandwich when it comes to that battle, and it looks like Krasneski will come out of that unscathed in spot number 4. Scott Fleener trying to get spot number 5 away from Noah Joyce right now, and looking back into spot number 6 right now, we have a battle between Luke Smith and Charles Joplin.
Yeah, fast times here as the 05 of Krasneski marching back here on lap number 5. Cal Lovell takes the lead. Dawson Guzik now up to the number 2 spot, looking for number 1. Heading into turn number 3, the 04 Ford is taking over here. Only has him by a fender, but losing some ground as Cal Lovell's going to have some turn exit speed. Dawson Guzik back to the drawing board as he tucks in behind Cal Lovell. Garrett Sidnor not letting this battle cool down too easy as he slides down to the bottom in the 50 out there. I know we're getting numbers a little mixed up out there. The 5 of Cal Lovell in the front, Garrett Sidnor within the 5-0. Sitting in 3rd, in the 05 of Justin Krasneski sitting in 4th. So a couple of guys tumbling it up out there, and the 04 out there of Dawson Guzik. So a lot of drivers out there starting to mash up here toward the front. But I do want to say, right now, at least our top 8 drivers are about 1 second away from each other and still keeping the solid roll here and no trouble out there on the track as of yet. Right now, a couple of little bumps and bruises from a couple of drivers who have been trying to make a good turn exit, not smacking into the wall, but are starting to give each other a little bit of a nudge out there. Dawson Guzik has been picking up the pace, though, with a 31.96 last lap. That's enough to have taken the pole here tonight. As they continue the roll, Cal Lovell stays out front, and Dawson Guzik sits 2nd, Garrett Sidnor 3rd.
Moving to spot number 4 will be Scott Fleener, and Charles Joplin will be rounding out our top 5 right now. And it looks as though everything has calmed down, as it looks like the top 7 or 8 drivers have gone single file right now. So it looks like the action's calming down a little bit.
Yep. I originally said we had one shy of 20 drivers. If I'm not mistaken, that is Hen Bordeaux getting out there onto the track, finally getting out of the pits. Don't know if we had a little trouble out of the vehicle, but back onto the track for Hen Bordeaux. Going to have a definitely about an 8-lap deficit here to get this one started. A driver who's been rolling back pretty bad here, Justin Krasneski. Yes, he has lost 7, but he still remains top 10. But a driver who is not, who started in row number 2, Blake Trawick, is down here in 14th spot, losing 10 here so far on the night before the first 10 laps. So average-wise, we're looking at over a position a lap here, and not quite sure what's going on with that cow machine, but he is rolling on back. Hopefully he's able to fight back to the front. That's now 11 as Darren Ingram slides to the inside.
Unfortunately, another driver that looks like that they got into a little bit of trouble is Dawson Guzek. He may have caught the wall a little bit coming out of turn number 4. Guzek was running, I think, in the top 3. He's now finding himself back in 7th position.
Yeah, taking a look here from our angle here, Douglas. Are we watching a set of tires starting to wear down prematurely? Have guys been driving too hard right here up in the front, and now they're starting to fall back? And is somebody like Treywick sitting back, letting them burn the tires off, and he's going to kick it in overdrive here pretty soon?
Definitely going to try and pull something, maybe even a rabbit out of the hat or something, but as of right now, we're seeing a lot of drivers taking different lines. We're seeing like Luke Smith ride the low line, Austin Guzek trying to ride the high line. So we're seeing a lot of drivers trying to try different lines to maybe get some traction or some grip of some sort.
Yep, hats off to the USORL League for no cautions as of yet here in the Kelloggs 150 at Atlanta. This has been a great race here so far. Bunch of shuffling up. Everybody, at least in the top 5, has moved up positions here so far. The only ones in the top 10 who haven't picked up any positions are Dawson Guzek, who started 5th, now 7th, and Justin Krzyzewski, who was up in the number 1 spot, now in 8th. So, tough ride here tonight for Krzyzewski, but boy, it might even be even more rough seeing we roll back to Noah Joyce, who's hanging out in the 13th spot. Right now, he's going to see if he can reset here and see if he can attack this track. I'm wondering if it's a little hotter than they expected out here tonight, so he's having some trouble seeing if he can get back to the front as he tucks in behind Tommy Bordeaux and Steven Merzlak in the Simrat Market machine.
Going back up to a battle that's happening up front, it looks like Scott Fleener, he's trying to make some noise right now, trying to follow in Luke Smith's tire tracks as they're trying to work their way around William Page right now in the mellow yellow machine.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed William Page almost clipping the wall there heading into 1. Definitely you want to be smooth when you come in and out of the turns. It almost seems William Page is squaring off the turns here. That's going to be very tough on that right front tire, and I hope he doesn't end up with any trouble. I know Stella out there has been with us here at SimTrax for quite some time. I would say this is almost some Kevin Orlando driving out there in the mellow yellow machine. He had getting out there and then almost seems to fall apart here just a little bit. I'm sure William Page will be looking to kind of get his act back together. I'm just wondering if that Ford is not going the way he wants it to go. Originally, we were talking Toyotas here, almost all in the top 10, but Krzyzewski is the only one in the top 10. Joyce and Ingram now meet each other down in 13th and 14th. So it is all Fords and Chevrolets here in the top 10, with a lot to be desired here from Justin Krzyzewski, who is just unable to regain any more positions to get back up to the front.
Most definitely, and as we're cycling through the drivers right now, maybe take note of some of the big movers of the race as of right now. Smith, who ended up starting in spot number 10, currently sitting in spot number 4. Cam Barnes, we haven't even talked about him. He's currently sitting in spot number 8 right now. He started in spot number 12, so a couple positions moved up for Cam Barnes, as well as behind him, Kerry Rogers, who started in spot number 16, is now currently sitting in the 9th position.
All right, well, this tomfoolery merchant out there from Frederick, Maryland, been doing an awesome job here so far. Breaking into the top 10, it does have to give you a solid boost of confidence. Once you get a ride like that out here tonight, definitely a lot to be desired. And kind of how we look at this is where they have qualified so far back, but being able to battle back up into the top 10, you almost think you're invincible. Right now, how they're starting to move is Steven Merzlak here to the inside of Kerry Rogers. I would suggest that most of these guys are starting to already talk to their crew chiefs 18 laps into this, oddly enough. With 4 sets of tires down in the pits, we probably got guys talking about pit strategy here. 4 tires and fuel, or we only taking right sides, as much fuel as we can stuff in the tank, and getting back out there.
I can tell you what, Patrick, we ended up broadcasting a lot of races when it came to this league, and I can tell you right now, when it comes to running on tires,
Sorry, Kerry Rogers there making contact with a wall, almost like we hit the brakes there. Not good. So Merzlak going to take off well out in front now separating by almost a second. Tommy Bordeaux now on the attack. So go ahead. You were talking about a broadcast and possibly some pit strategy issues here.
As I was saying, basically, we've broadcasted a lot of races with this league. We've seen a lot of these drivers. They might try to extend the tires as much as they can get them. So we're just going to have to see how some of this plays out. But we know that some drivers like Luke Smith and all the other guys up front, we know that they're going to try and run them out as long as they can.
Yep. Solid lead out front, though, by Cal Lovell. Out in front by 0.8 of a second. Sidnor, Joplin, and Luke Smith. As our clutch of cars we're taking a look at right here, it looks like William Page and Scott Fleener getting ready to poke their nose into the business out there in the front. As Garrett Sidnor, well, he's out front. He's still off by almost a second, but I would say there's probably enough clean air for Garrett Sidnor to maybe be able to do something here and catch Cal Lovell. But I believe the battle that is kind of still continuing on behind him between Richie Joplin and Luke Smith isn't really helping their case here. They may be able to start running these guys down, or running Cal Lovell just for, as a matter of fact, just that driver. Don't let the leader get away here. I mean, once he gets separation, he is able to move around and not be put under fire. This is going to be huge here, as Sidnor has got to figure out how to make up some time as we take a look at the distance between our leader and second position. So Sidnor, Joplin, Smith, Fleener, these guys have got to do something if they want to catch up.
It's definitely, and staying in dirty air isn't really going to help the case for some of these drivers. It looks like Charles Joplin, he's going to try and go to the top of the racetrack. We're trying to find a little bit of clean air in that situation. But as of right now, it is about a second lead away from Cal Lovell and Garrett Sidnor. Charles Joplin is in third, Luke Smith fourth, and Scott Fleener rounding out your top five. Pretty much second, third, fourth, and fifth are staying within a couple of seconds between each other.
Yeah. Taking a look in the backfield, update on Blake Trawick. He is starting to pick the pace back up now. He has moved up to 14th, only giving him 10 lost on the night. Tommy Bordeaux and Darren Ingram are going at it here. And right now, the 57 machine on the outside line has been loose here the past couple of laps. 57 into the wall. Trawick looking to attack inside line. As we come up on lap 24, we get started on it. Trawick here to the inside. That's going to move him to 13th here. Only half a car length. He's got to the side of him now. He's going to try and make the clear. He does. So Trawick going to run down Darren Ingram. Ingram trying to get back to him, or at least close to where he started. Only needs one more to reach 11th, but a driver who would love to figure out how to get this race restarted, the 31 Toyota of Noah Joyce.
Noah Joyce definitely losing a lot of ground on that. But I can tell you what, another driver that right now is making some noise is Steven Merzlak, who ended up moving up to the 8th position. So Merzlak, we got to reckon back on the backstretch.
Yep, that looks like Luke Smith is around. Fleener goes back down the track. Fleener with a ton of damage here. An absolute ton of damage. Hopefully we'll see if he is able to continue. Looks like it's still mobile, though. What in the world happened here? The first driver that we saw going backwards was actually Luke Smith here. So our first caution does come out on lap number 25. I would say almost due to the amount of tires we have and how we're going to split 100 laps, you'd almost say this was time to caution.
Yes, most definitely. And it looks like everybody's coming down pit road. A lot of takers.
All right, fire sale going on here. Everybody coming down pit. In the meantime, while we go ahead and let them pit, let's see what caused our caution to bring us non-green flag stops here. Taking a look here from the top side. Oh, man, do we had 3 wide. I don't think Luke Smith had any idea that the 05 was there. No idea. William Page getting out of there, though. And I think Fleener, boy, he's going to hate that. Fleener getting a huge shot right there at the end of this. Worst part is, yellow flag comes out, and about 8 seconds later, Fleener ends up getting wrecked out here. So the 05 is on the outside. And that's Justin Krzyzewski in both situations here. Caught up in this caution. And you see Krzyzewski once again kind of squeezing it right in the center. Luke Smith closes the gap. Rotates on around. Looks like he's going to maintain. And Fleener comes back and tries to weld himself to the front bumper. All right. Driver's getting back out of pit road here. This is a take at Luke Smith. He's currently now down to the 17th position. Justin Krzyzewski. Let's see if we can get the drone footage out there on him. Maybe a little damage there to the right front fender and the hood. You can see it pulled up a little bit. Scott Fleener. Yeah, he's still dealing with a little something going on there. The world may run on Duncan here, Douglas, but it does not look like he's going to be running here after that wreck.
Yeah, most definitely. It looks like there's quite a little bit of damage to the 49 machine, so very unfortunate there. It looks like I got a couple updates that are going on. It looks like Justin Krzyzewski, he's going to have to go to the rear of the bus. The officials didn't like what they saw, as it looks like also Scott Fleener has taken his car to the garage.
Oh, so damage just continues on. And Fleener unable to get that thing fixed after 2.5 minutes. He's going to draw the line there and say his night is complete. Returning back down in the pit is going to be Zach Krastowski. And we'll see how all this unfolds. Quick little change up out there from some of our drivers. Merzlak up into the 4th position. William Page sitting 5th. Treywick up to 8th. So not bad here. So hopefully we'll see the cow machine find a way to move his way back up to the front. Darrell Harris sitting in the 11th. See how the number 9 Lucas Oil Machine. That Chevrolet been on a good charge here so far. This will give him about 6 or 7 gained here on the night. Looking to see if he can fight his way back to the front. Pace car lights should be out this time around, so heading down into pit road. It'll be our wonderful pace car. Cal Lovell would like to get back to leading a good part of this race. He's got to figure out how to conjure up that 1 second lead that he had before. Barney with the green flag in the air. Yeah. All right, away we go. Cal Lovell out front. Sidnor chasing. Steven Merzlak trying to see if he can finish this battle here with Richard Joplin, get single file before these guys start pulling away here. Great jump, though, by Cal Lovell. He's out front already by 1/4 of a second over top of Garrett Sidnor. Sidnor is now going to be doing more than just chasing, and hopefully his crew chief isn't measuring how far that distance is starting to grow, as he's not going to be too happy seeing we're already coming up on the start-finish line. And Sidnor might not have an answer for him here.
Garrett Sidnor is definitely going to have to make something happen. As sitting in spot number 3 is Steven Merzlak. He's watching the whole show happen. Charles Joplin sitting in spot number 4, and William Page rounding out your top 5. Harry Rogers sitting in spot number 6. Cam Barnes in 7th. Aaron Ingram 8th. Blake Treywick breaking into the top 10. He's going to be sitting 9th, and rounding out your top 10 will be Noah Joyce.
Not bad by Noah Joyce and Blake Treywick. Those are the guys I've kind of got my eyeballs on right now. Sitting in that 9th and 10th position. Moving on to Daryl Harris, who sits 11th. Dawson Guzik 12th. Luke Smith, John Peterson, and Michael Murata rounding out our final 15 drivers. And we've got guys who are under a heavy amount of damage, seeing if they can hang in there. Zach Krastowski, Justin Krasinski, and Tommy Bordeaux. Only one driver taking it back to the garage here tonight is Scott Fleener, as Hen Bordeaux has made that pass, moving her from dead last to now 19th. Still going to need a boatload of laps to get back, 6 to be exact, to get at least back onto the lead lap here. But with 33 laps complete, well, 32 laps complete, 33 is underway. Right now, the chances of getting enough cautions to get back on the lead lap are going to be slim to none.
Very slim to none indeed, but I could tell you right now, what's really slim to none is Cal Lovall's lead over Garrett Sidnor. Sidnor has managed to close the gap a little bit, riding that low line, trying to get a little bit of clean air and trying to see if he can pull the number 1 spot.
Yeah, well, Sidnor finally getting his act together here. Outside he goes to get that breath of fresh air you're talking about. He was able to reel him into less than 0.2 of a second. Started getting him there, but no can do as the battle for the third spot finally goes to Richard Joplin. And now William Page and Steven Merzlach are going to do some battle out there for that 4th position. Right now is some tough racing out here. Guys would like to find that sweet spot if they can get to the front. As we said on Kerry Rogers' machine, he's up 10 here on the night. That gives him all the way from the 16th spot, now 6th. Not bad, as the 71 machine about to go in the rearview mirror, giving Kerry Rogers now 5th. So who can take down Cal Lovall here? If this goes about 20 to 25 laps and all we have to do is pit, this one may be all Cal Lovall's race.
Well, never count it out. I mean, it's still really early on lap 36, so anything can happen on that. But it looks like Cal Lovall, he is definitely extending that lead over Garrett Sidnor and Charles Joplin.
Single file for most of our drivers here in the top 10. Lovall staying out front. Sidnor is sitting second. Richard Joplin now starting to make a couple wiggles there and playing peekaboo in the rear view mirror. Not letting anything get past him and not getting Sidnor to start getting too comfortable hanging out in second. Now, I would say if I were in Joplin's shoes, you might want to give Sidnor a huge shove here, get him close to Cal Lovall, and then try to make the move and see if you can get a 2-for-1. Really, it could be done before lap 40.
Definitely could be done, and I think they are definitely trying to make something happen, because I think they're seeing that Cal Lovall is starting to pull away a little bit. So it could be a little teamwork on the side of Garrett Sidnor and Richard Joplin.
I would love to come up with a little extra work out there and make things happen. I would say right now, Sidnor in good company, though, as Cal Lovall out there for team number 10. These two guys will be working together. I'm not seeing where Joplin may come in, as he's down in team number 15. Right now, these guys are only able to do hand signals to communicate. Right now, they've been racing each other pretty well, so we can already say one sign isn't being given. There's Garrett Sidnor and the number 50 Georgia Peanuts Ford still hangs on to second. So not bad from 7th to 2nd. Richard Joplin from 8th to 3rd. William Page going ahead and taking it from 9th to 4th. So it looks like these guys are in good company. Let's check in on Cam Barnes. You like talking about Cam Barnes a little bit out there in the 97 Chevrolet. Barnes does make the pass and goes ahead and gets around Kerry Rogers. So the 97 Chevrolet putting the 12 Ford into the rearview mirror there. And right now, that's only for a moment. Cam Barnes is looking to pass William Page, and there he goes. Nice little wave there as Cam Barnes and Kerry Rogers now shoot past William Page. So you want to talk about in the blink of an eye, and one straightaway, William Page goes from one spot inside the top 5 to one spot outside of the top 5. Back to the drawing board for the Mellow Yellow.
It definitely looks like William Page is starting to lose a little bit of ground as he lost another spot to Kerry Rogers. So Rogers moving up into the top 5. William Page will have to settle back into spot number 6. And right there in his rearview mirror is the 71 of Steven Merzlak. Merzlak trying to gain back some of the ground that he lost.
Yeah, Merzlak almost flipping the field here. 6 here on the night. We still keep our eye here on William Page. Get on that nose cone here behind the advanced auto parts machine there of Kerry Rogers. Rogers trying to hold on to it for a couple more laps, though, before William Page decides to start applying more pressure. And Douglas, we're taking a look at this since last time. Now, they came in and got tires on lap number 26. Notice the fall off isn't that bad this time. We're single file, guys starting to tick laps off. You think these guys have learned anything ever since?
Definitely could be a playing factor when it comes to this, because I mean these tires are about to be ticking almost 20 laps old, so it could really all depend. But knowing these drivers will run these tires to lap 40 or 50 laps, I should say, just on one set, because these guys know how to stretch it when it comes to tire wear.
Well, and also when it comes down to tire wear, if you're running your consistent times, we'll kind of put that lightly in pencil. Consistent time is what you're seeing is a lot of these guys are really keeping in mind when they're hitting their marks, how their car's doing, how it's feeling as the track is changing, and then they start looking at the time. So right now, best times out there, let's say by Steven Merzlak, a previous winner of a 31.8, currently running a 32.7. And now just ran his last lap of a 32.96. So we've got a minimum of at least a second fall off here. And Justin Krzyzewski thinking the same thing. I think Krzyzewski is taking it down into the pits. Yep, he's heading on down. I'm wondering if the damage is coming back and creeping up on him.
Definitely from what we're seeing right now, looks like Cal Lovell, he's really extending his lead over Garrett Sidnor.
Yeah, right now something happened between William Page and I think the number 12 of Kerry Rogers out there. A lot of smoke between turn 1 and 2. Contact was made. What in the world happened there? See if we can take a peek and see what happens. We see William Page there toward the front. Oh! Page just looks like he sends it in a little deeper into the turn. Rogers with the damage. So right now, William Page can't be too happy with the damage he's received. Let's see if I can find somewhere we can get a little bit closer. Yep, Kerry Rogers bent in pretty bad. And William Page, let's check out that nose. All right, not bad. One Ford holds up better than the other. That's okay, so we will continue the race. No caution. I thought we were about to have another one there pretty close. At almost the 25 lap mark again. Caution came out on 25. Pit happened on 26. Resumed racing under 28. And Douglas, you know, could this be a redo here in the next couple of laps if they're going to decide to do that again?
It almost definitely was going to be a redo on that, so I can just tell you, great job by both Kerry Rogers and William Page keeping control of their cars, keeping that from going to caution. As of right now, going back to the battle up front, we did have a battle going on for a second between Garrett Sidnor and Richard Joplin. So right now, it looks like those drivers are doing battle, and the one driver that's loving it is Cal Lovell. He's really extended his lead over second and third.
Yeah, well, you can almost write Cal Lovell off. He's way out front. Battle still rages on, though, with William Page. Looks like he goes ahead and keeps the 97 of Cam Barnes behind him. Treywick now taking a look in the 56. So Treywick starting to get a little bit of draft from the backside there of Page. Page getting loose through 3 and 4. And obviously William Page having to do a lot of work here tonight, as his arm's going to be plenty worn out when this, I think, finally comes to the end. Notice how Page is fighting this car.
William Page, he definitely did get some significant damage on that right front quarter, on that right front fender, I should say. So that could definitely play into a factor when it comes to his handling.
Yeah, and a lot of guys don't really think about the aerodynamics out there, and I know not just the racers, but sometimes the viewers don't notice that if you've got some damage to the front of your race car, it's going to change everything up. And right now, drifting through the turn, it looks like Kerry Rogers is going to be careening off the track here. Right now, the 12 does hold on. Little smoke around the turns, but the 12 dives right back on in. So that damage to the rear bumper may be reducing the downforce that can be pressed onto the track, and that's what we're seeing. Kerry Rogers now down to 9th.
Right now, Kerry Rogers is definitely fighting an ill-handling race car right now. He got into a little bit of the soap suds going into the corner. So we'll just have to see. Oh, man, he's really getting loose coming off of the corner. Rogers really losing ground.
Oh, he is not the only one. We got more smoke up front. And I believe Richie Joplin, yep, Joplin now out of shape. High line here as we break past that 25-lap mark. Tough driving here. Right now, everybody's still holding on to it, though. Under green flag, Barney kind of has that caution flag in the back pocket. He thinks it's coming soon. Joplin also as well dealing with some damage to the rear of his race car. Let's see if we can get a little closer out there. Yep, see the damage right there. Smushed the Camaro sign in. So he is somewhere collected that here tonight.
Unfortunately, another driver that's collected some damage is Steven Merzlak, who's currently sitting in spot number 3. So Merzlak, he ended up getting some damage to that rear back bumper.
Yeah, whatever it is, seems everybody may be backing up these turns here to help get a solid swing end into turn 1 or turn 3. And I think a few people are trying to rearrange them. They're not quite ready to really be hitting the brake. Everybody hard on the loud pedal here tonight. One to really, I would say keep an eye on him here is Cal Lovell, but he's out in front by almost 2 1/4 seconds over top of Garrett Sidnor. This kind of takes him out of the limelight. No battles for the number 5 Ford. And I think he's probably okay with that.
Definitely.
Right. Treywick looks like he got his under control. Stopped slipping and sliding around out there. Sitting currently now in 5th. Merzlak, the only driver in the top 5, not driving a Ford. But his 10 position gain, he's earned it. Right now the 71 out there in the Simrat market. Chevrolet trying to get going on. William Page involved in some trouble earlier. And Blake Treywick looks like he's been doing some dodging out there and fighting his way to the front. So you were talking earlier about drivers trying to extend the amount of time here. When is the breaking point as we see drivers right now like Garrett Sidnor? 31.79 is his best time. 33.74 is what he's running now. That's over a 2-second fall off here. I mean, when does it get to the point he's losing more than he's gaining?
Like I said, it could be a strategic call when it comes to this, but it looks like Cal Lovell, he may be in tire conservation mode, as it looks like he's definitely running faster lap times than Garrett Sidnor. So Sidnor maybe unfortunately probably used up more of his tires trying to gain ground on Cal Lovell. So Lovell may actually have a little bit of grip on his hands.
Yep. Somebody who doesn't have grip rotating back to Kerry Rogers again. Now that's down to 14th. They've definitely cooked the tires. We notice how Kerry Rogers sliding through 1 and 2. He's going to be desperately trying to hang on. I believe might be shuffling back here to the 14th spot, but heading down pit road. Dawson Guzik going to be our first taker. I don't blame him. I don't know how much longer I'd be willing to hold on to that race car. "35 laps on these tires." We see our first taker. Let's see if anybody else decides to come down. I would probably say our top 5 are going to continue until Cal Lovell decides it's time. This right now is riding on with Steven Merzlak, and you notice how Cal sitting about 4 seconds out front. That's him as the spec heading down the backstretch.
Right now, here's the battle going on for spot number 3 right now. Blake Trawick trying to make the moves on Steven Merzlak. Merzlak trying to hold on to it as much as he can, but Trawick, it looks like he'll clear him for spot number 3.
Yep, he does make a solid pass there. Trawick up to 3rd. Page is still drifting around these turns as he sits in 5th. Noah Joyce returning back up to the front of the pack here, sitting currently 6th. Darren Ingram, Luke Smith, Daryl Harris, and Richie Joplin. Joplin up there, who's normally running 2nd and 3rd. Currently hanging back in the double digits right now in the 08 Chevrolet. 10th spot for him. And we've got guys who are radioing up here. They may be looking down in the pit, but maybe changing the line here is Noah Joyce following Darren Ingram. It looks like they're going to go around for another lap.
Right now, it looks like the battle is heating up for the number 7 slot. That is between Luke Smith and Noah Joyce right now. Smith trying to regain some ground.
Yep, rotating up. Trawick now taking over 2nd. Not bad there. I do want to give an update. So right now, Trawick running a 33.35. And Dawson Guzik running a 31.89. So expect to see Dawson kind of pop into the screen somewhere around here, as his speed is almost unmatched with those fresh tires. He is able to handle what he wants wherever he wants, getting around the 26th there of Hen Bordeaux. But unfortunately, he is going to have to get up to the front and try to see if he can hit one of his laps back. And hopefully Dawson is able to recover here for this race. Justin Krasinski out there in the chat, not happy about his race here tonight, as he is our 2nd driver. Lap 44 is as far as he made it, especially scoring on the pole here tonight and having to take it back to the garage.
Now our top 5 drivers currently are still staying out.
Yeah, we're still kind of got a rally cap hat on here. Trying to see who is and who isn't going to be coming down. The number 4 is Zach Krastowski. Looks to be getting a lap back here. And this would go ahead and take Zach Krastowski and get him only down 1 lap. Oh, man. All right, now here comes a good chunk of the top 5. Sidnor, Page, Joyce, Joplin, Rogers, Peterson. All coming on down. I believe that is the number... I thought that was almost the number 4 rejoining down in the pit. I was incorrect, as the number 26 of Hen Bordeaux. Cal Lovell, finally. Here he comes. Go on, Douglas. Give it hell, buddy.
And it looks like, yes, Cal Lovell, Blake Trawick, Steven Merzlak, Darren Ingram, Daryl Harris, Luke Smith, Tommy Bordeaux, Am Barnes, Michael Murata. Looks like they're all coming down pit road.
All right, so big thing to take into account here is right now everybody is down pit road. Our first driver who did come down pit road is Dawson Guzik. Currently, he's only about a third of a lap down here as he comes up on pit road. Working their way out of pit is going to be Cal Lovell, and let's see if Dawson is going to get the lead here. Now up to 6th, 5th, 4th, continuing through. And Dawson Guzik passing Blake Trawick. He's only got one more, and there's Cal Lovell here. Well, Cal going to be looking to play chase. Does he block Dawson Guzik here? Wow, Dawson just barely, but he does not get the lead. Cal Lovell on the fresh tires, about 8 laps fresher, is going to go ahead and leave the 04 Ford of Guzik. So not bad. I know Mama Goose is kind of on the edge there, saying, Dawson might get a lead here, but unable to fend him off. I would say if a caution comes out here in the next 10 laps or so, Dawson will be able to come down, get a fresh set of tires, and still remain in competition here. Right now you see Dawson losing a lot of speed, though. Boy, that's what ends up happening. You come in early and you don't want to cook the tires off too soon. But a lot of things can happen. Fastest time laid down on the track is going to go the number 31 Toyota of Noah Joyce, 31.68 here tonight. Not bad. Continuing the charge forward. Side by side, though, for William Page and Luke Smith. This is the battle for 6th position. Right now, Noah Joyce ran about 10 thousandths of a second faster than Cal Lovell. And Lovell narrowing down the fastest time, 31.64. A crazy race here so far, Douglas. And I hate seeing drivers like Justin Krzyzewski getting marched out of this race so early, and Scott Fleener in the 49 Ford. Boy, I'll tell you what, that would have been a guy to see up here toward the front as well. Putting down solid times, being a great racer, tough to get around. But really, that's kind of your job. You're out here to win races. You're not out here to make friends.
Yes, most definitely. And when it comes to this, it's every person for themselves. You don't really have a lot of friends out there, so you really have to figure out what's going to be best for your race.
Yeah, tough here as we break a 3 wide. Right now, that was Page that was on the outside. Luke Smith was in the center. Noah Joyce drops down to 7th, going ahead and giving up that position and letting it on through. Now, I do want to kind of note here, Douglas, is we've got a driver matching the time, the best time that Cal Lovell is, and that is Daryl Harris. Daryl Harris, if I'm not mistaken, if I thought I saw him in Lucas Oil Machine out there tonight?
Yes, that's right.
All right, yep. So it looks like the number 9 Chevrolet fighting his way up into 8th. Joplin may be taking it easier on the tires. He is starting to lose a little bit of distance here, and may starting to stay out of touch here with the top 8 drivers. So he's gonna have to do some chasing. But as we talk about top drivers, still Rich Joplin is out in front by over 2.5 seconds over top of Darren Ingram, who's currently sitting in 10th. So our top 9 drivers have gotten plenty of separation here, but from Joplin up to the lead, he's got to find 7.5 seconds to catch Cal Lovell and this blazing fast speed he has here tonight. Trawick taking over Guzik. So Lovell, Trawick, Guzik, Merzlak, and Luke Smith rounding out our top 5. All drivers picking up at least 2 positions here tonight.
Definitely a great rebound by Luke Smith after getting involved in that one and only caution we had tonight so far. So Luke Smith is definitely going to be happy with the finish that he has tonight if he stays where he is. And he's looking to gain more spots as he's gaining ground on Steven Merzlak and Dawson Guzik, as Guzik is still losing ground.
Yep. A couple of things are still shuffling around. Guzik looking to the inside. And Merzlak going to take the inside instead. So Guzik to the top. Guzik is letting Luke Smith go by as well. So it looks like Luke Smith on the flex shot machine. Oh, a little extra juice there. As he gets through 1 and 2 and goes ahead and gets a 2 for 1. Not bad. Luke Smith up to third. All right, everybody, we're going to take a little bit of a moment here and do a crank it up session with only 24 laps left to go here in the Kelloggs 150. We'll be right back after the short break. right, everybody, thanks for hanging in there. Welcome back to the Kelloggs 150 Simtrax broadcast and bringing you the last 15 laps here of this race. We kind of hone in on Blake Trawick, who's currently holding in second. Luke Smith sitting third, but he's got to make up about 2.5 seconds. Oddly enough, Trawick is sitting in between two drivers. Cal Lovell 3.8 seconds ahead. Luke Smith 2.5 seconds behind. So it almost seems that this entire track has separated themselves by a second per car. But a driver who we're used to seeing out front and who had been battling up front most of the night, Garrett Sidnor. Oddly enough, Douglas Ross has enough information out there to tell me what in the world happened to the number 50 out there and why in the world is he a lap down sitting currently 16th.
Yes, from tally back, it looks like all drivers were coming down on lap 66 to do a set of pit stops, and it looks like Garrett Sidnor ended up suffering the fate of a speeding penalty.
Oh boy, well, speeding in or speeding out is not going to work well for you here, especially at Atlanta. He can put you down a lap in a heartbeat, and it looks like he is unable to recover. Speaking of not able to recover, Dawson Guzik. Tires too worn out. Last time he came in was lap 59. He's coming in here on 87. Misses the pit road commitment cone, and I think he's going to be serving a penalty as well. Currently, he is sitting 14th. He's going to be held for that one. So Dawson Guzik may be taking it back to the garage. He is right now hating this race, as it has not been very good to him. It looked like his offset pitting was going to do him quite well, but this is going to go green almost the entire way. So right now, Douglas taking a look from a 10,000-foot perspective here. These guys have only had one caution here this entire race out of 100 laps. That's not bad.
Yeah, that definitely isn't bad. That's going to show you on how much skill all these drivers have. So it's really definitely a good group of guys to get involved with. And I can tell you this, if you guys want to get involved in a race with these guys, more than welcome to come to the USORL Racing League that takes place on Thursday nights. These guys definitely are the guys to race with.
Yep, and they'll be broadcasted by yours truly here. 135 miles completed here at Atlanta. A couple, only 10 laps left to go as we are looking currently at the number 5 Ford, our leader for about 90% of this race. He has been able to capture it and has never looked back. 3.5 seconds still in front of Blake Trawick, who came into this league and took it by storm. We started getting himself some wins and some top threes here in the past few weeks. Luke Smith just being once again one of the bridesmaids, just can't seem to be the bride. Whoa! And that might be why. Looks like he's slipping out there on the dance floor. Steven Merzlak sits fourth, and William Page in the Mellow Yellow Machine under fire here by Noah Joyce. Joyce to the inside in the Sunoco 31 Toyota. 9 laps left to go. Heck of a time to be doing it now.
If you want to pick your moment, it's got to be now with less than 10 laps to go. In as much position and points as you can.
Yep, 9 laps left in this race. Speaking of the number 9, that is Darrell Harris in the Lucas Oil Machine right behind him taking a look. As these guys get side by side, it does slow the pace for these two, looking for one more position out there. And I would say Darrell Harris is looking for 2. Looking to see if William Page is going to get out of shape here as the tires are well worn. Last time they came in is lap number 66. That is going to be tough here. You saw Dawson Guzik coming down into the pits. He decided on lap 59 his tires were plumb worn out, and he goes ahead and takes it on back. So unfortunately, Dawson Guzik, our last driver to take it back to the garage. Right now, 17 drivers still out there on the track, 18, 19, and 20. Guzik made it to lap 87 before he head back to the garage. Justin Krasinski, who you can even see out there in the chat, not happy with his night here. He moves up. He's sitting 19th, and Scott Fleener make it to lap 25, put him in 20th. But Douglas, I talked about a 2-for-1 deal. Guess who got it? Darrell Harris.
Yep, Darrell Harris definitely made his move, and it counted most. So Harris will break into the top 5. Definitely will be a good night for Darrell Harris to keep this up.
Yep, 13 positions gained.
Yep, so William Page will have to settle back into spot number 6 and Noah Joyce in spot number 7.
Yeah. Awesome race here so far. 6 laps left to go. Joyce sitting 7th. Ingram is 8th. And I think Ingram might be a little too far out to see if he can get anything going. About a second and a half behind. But past couple of laps, Darren Ingram has actually been shaving off a 10th or 2 per turn. I think he may have saved a little left in the tank. His tires, comparable. Still sitting at 67 laps. Or excuse me, lap 67 is when he came down. Only a lap later than the rest of these guys. But the guys who are on the fresher tires out there, really not anybody that we're seeing. Everybody came in between lap 61 and 67. More toward the later half of that pit window when we saw these guys coming down. Does anybody have anything to make some to see if they can put anybody under pressure? Does Merzlak have enough to come up with 1 second here to catch Luke Smith for a third-place finish? He's going to have to shave off about a quarter of a second per lap to run him down. But drivers who are the closest right now, Noah Joyce, and I would believe that is the only driver out there who's actually close enough to make any sort of a pass. So we'll stick with the Sunoco machine as need. Yes, looking for William Page here between 1 and 2. 31 on the bottom. William Page's Ford is going to go ahead and pull out of there, and he makes it. But can his tires hold on for another 7 more miles?
It's definitely going to be very hard to tell, but I have a feeling they will. I think he's sitting in good shape.
42 Ford, 31 Toyota. 3 laps left to go. Joyce all over him. There's the nudge. Joyce not happy. Trying to see if he can make a pass. Page does block. So, Douglas, when you see a move like that, you're the driver of the 31. 42's blocking you here. Wood is pushing too much, and you don't want to turn the guy. So, right now, there's a fine line that has to be danced here with Noah Joyce and William Page. I would say Joyce is going to go ahead, and if William Page wants to block, he's going to earn it. And he better hold on, because right now, the Sunoco machine has got the front stretch to a science here. Dives to the inside. Looks like he psychs him out here. Drives him up to the top of the field, and now Noah Joyce going to have to go ahead and see if he can line ride on the bottom to get past William Page. Oof.
It looks like he won't make it happen as William Page, he's really getting that run coming off of the corner. White flag is currently out.
Yep, white flag is out. Cal Lovell way out in front. Looks like he's out by almost 4 seconds out front of these guys. On lap 67, still holding on. Joyce trying to see if he can find one more shot. He's only got a couple more turns to figure it out. It's turn 1 and 2. 31 sends it on through. Page has hit the wall a couple of times coming out of 4. We'll keep an eye on that. Cal Lovell coming to the line and wins here at the Kelloggs 150. Treywick is second. Luke Smith third. Steven Merzlak will end up being 4th. And let's see if William Page can fend him off, and he does. Not bad. All right, John Peterson reeling in here in 10th. And what a good decent race this was. Only 1 caution here tonight, back on lap 25. 75 laps continued under green. With Cal Lovell winning it, Treywick coming in 2nd, Luke Smith is 3rd. Not bad. I see out there in the chat that David Callahan would have liked to have been out here and said he hated missing tonight. I guarantee it. This was a heck of a race to be in. Stella out there pretty happy with our finish as well. Cal Lovell going ahead and getting up front here, I'm sure. Right now, there's a little love tap from the 57. And that is Tommy Bordeaux. Number 5 earning this one. David Callahan pretty happy with how our broadcast went tonight. Appreciate it. Douglas, that means you're going to have to take back everything you said about him earlier. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh, he didn't say anything bad. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at where our drivers finished here tonight. And definitely keep an eye on some of those gaps. Gaps, as I'm talking about, their finishing spot of how close they were. William Page was able to get at least a decent gap out there in front of Noah Joyce. All right, David, we were just messing with you, buddy. Trying to make sure you guys are keeping it lively here tonight, especially out there in the chat. 20 drivers out here tonight. Guys, I would love to see us get around 30, so don't forget, you can find the USORL. You can find them on Facebook or out there on their website. Definitely, there are plenty of guys that you can grab a hold of. Cal Lovell being just one of them. Find Darren Ingram, Noah Joyce, Zach Rostowski. I mean, you saw them out here racing tonight. Some of the faster guys out there on the track, but they are looking for more drivers at all times. So don't forget, you can reach out there, find them, and I'm sure they will be well accommodating. Hold on just a moment. Let's run our top 3 guys down, and we'll talk to them here in Victory Lane. All right, everybody, we are catching up with our third place finisher, Luke Smith, and the 39 machine. Boy, there was a lot going on out here tonight, especially only one caution, but man, the speed was insane out there. Talk to me about this race.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how in the world I finished third place because I got in that wreck that caused the caution, and the next run I was driving horribly, and I couldn't pass anybody. I was running like I think 11th or 12th place and couldn't pass anybody. Had a really good pit stop, came out in like 6th and just passed a couple guys. And I mean, Cal was the class of the field. I think he led almost every single lap. Uh, I mean, I'm just proud to have a third place finish. I think fought through a little bit of adversity there.
I know I probably know the answer here. If this had gone little less, let's say we had another caution, lap 80, 4 tires and fuel, you think this thing would have changed differently tonight?
I believe it could have, but I feel like the only way to stop Cal from winning this race was somebody making a mistake and getting into him or something, because that he had that thing on rails. I don't know what he was doing, but he was perfect. I think if we had another caution, I think I would fall back a bunch because I had no short run speed there with the damage that I had.
All right. Well, we are creeping up on Thanksgiving here, so that only means one more race here before the Turkey Day, and we head to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I've got to say, not one of my favorite tracks. Way too flat for me. Confidence level heading there for the 39.
I feel good about that track. That's always one of my better ones. I don't know why it's one of my better ones, but it happens to be one. Uh, so I feel good going into it. I just hope it's not one of those races that turns into a whole fest where you have to shift in the corners, because I hate that at New Hampshire, but if I got to do it, I got to do it.
Oh, yeah, the money shift. That's what everybody's looking for. And it's possible, man, I would say, as the tires wear down and guys are trying to sling through these turns. A lot of things are going to happen. I would say a lot of other people are also looking to join up with this league here. And hopefully we're able to get some more bodies out here. I would like to see you guys nudge that 30 mark. I think it would have been a lot sketchier out here tonight. A lot more side by side, but man, oh man, great race here tonight. We'll see what you can do at New Hampshire. But first, go ahead and give me your shout outs for all your sponsors and the people out here watching you.
I'd like to shout you guys out first off. You guys put on an awesome broadcast. It's always awesome to go back and watch. I'd like to shout out John and Ray for collaborating on this paint scheme for the car. I ran it at Darlington. I ran it here. It's awesome. It's a nice little throwback. I'd like to shout out BRE, uh, Cam Barnes, and all those guys, being part of their team and driving this car into the top five. I'd like to say every week, but some weeks I struggle. Uh, yeah, that's about everyone. I mean, I just love it here. The admins do a great job too. It's such a fun league.
Awesome. Yeah, I know this paint scheme kind of reminds me of a NASCAR racer that ran it. I remember the driver who did it as a throwback scheme. Al Likens ended up driving this paint scheme, but I can't remember for the life of me who rode this paint scheme. It was like America's Funniest Home Videos was on the hood. Man, I don't know. It'll bug me. It'll bug me, and I'll remember. Luke Smith, congratulations on your third place finish, man. Congratulations, and we'll see what you can do at New Hampshire.
Thank you.
Douglas, you know that is going to bug me until tomorrow.
I already know it is. I can already tell it is.
God, man, if I could just remember. All right, well, Jay out there, I'm sure he'll hunt it down. Keep a good mental visual look of this. That is that is who I'm looking for. It would say America's Funniest Home Videos right there on the hood. Big old circle. Man, I just wish I could figure out who the heck that was. But everybody else was questioning who that was way out front is the number 1 driver out there. In the number 5 Ford, Cal Lovell. Man, you led just about every lap here tonight. What a race it was here at Atlanta.
Oh, definitely. That was a lot of fun. I didn't expect it to go that way. But I always love coming to tracks like these that you can slide around on and drive the car. But it was a lot of fun.
All right, well, I'm going to be the butthead. You set up the rooms for the races. You're one of the admins here. Did you set this track up to the exact way you like to race it?
No, it's not right. It's set on the schedule to set the late afternoon. I didn't make the schedule.
Whoa.
And apparently you're at nighttime in the late afternoon at Atlanta. So I don't know who did that. It wasn't me.
Well, the 100-degree track temperature. Come on, man.
Everybody else has to race the track too. So.
Oh my gosh, dude, we used 2 sets of the 4 tires we had available in the pits. What the world? The Lowe's machine was definitely on a rail here tonight. What was the key to being so fast and just being able to pull away from everyone?
Just keeping consistent laps going, not overdoing it early in the run. I know that's easy to do because it's such a fast track, but just making sure you know the limit of the car and keeping those tires maintained.
All right, we talked. You're talking about not overdriving the car, not doing too much. Is that why we ended up falling off really in the first, I almost call it the first stage, before the first caution? You were kind of puttering around back there around 6th to 8th position, and then we fought ourselves back up to the front.
I think I was leading at that point.
What? Well, yeah, kind of. I knew you were dropping off. Krasinski, I think, had just lost the lead.
Oh, no. I mean, the car felt great all night. I had no complaints. I know people were battling tightness and looseness, but I felt pretty balanced all night. And I guess that's just what set me apart from the field tonight. And that's what you wish for every single week.
All right, before I get your shout-outs here, Cal, I got 2 things. 1, where was your fuel level when we finished the race? And 2, USRL's always looking for more drivers. Maybe pump this up to 30, 32 drivers out there.
Oh, yeah.
How can they do it?
We'd love that. Just come out Tuesday nights for Dash and Thursday nights for Cup. We'd love to have anyone show up. And what was that first point you made?
Fuel level. Where were you at
Fuel
the end?
level. I had about 6 laps left. Plenty of fuel left. I made sure to give us some room for that on the final pit stop, but we were all right there.
Excellent. All right, buddy. Shout out time.
Well, as always, I'll shout out to you all for putting on these great broadcasts. Shout out to John Peterson for making this Cobalt machine. I'm 1 for 1 in this car. Might need to run it more because it was bad fast tonight. And yeah, shout out to this league. It's such a fun group to race with.
Awesome, Cal. Congratulations, man. We'll go ahead and let you go down there and talk trash about Davey Hazard about why he's not showing up, and we'll go ahead and close this one up. Congratulations on your win here at the Kelloggs 150, and I'm excited to see what you can do in New Hampshire next week.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yep. Ha, Douglas, you didn't get a word in edgewise during any of these tonight. Talk about a wild and a great race. This was here tonight, man. Oh man, oh man. Was the driving side by side, single file. We had guys, a couple of spin outs, a lot of smoke around these turns, especially drivers like Kerry Rogers and the number 12. Holy cow, William Page. These two guys bashing doors almost all night. And I even checked out there in the chat that William Page and Noah Joyce were hoping that the broadcast had caught them battling and trying to kill each other all the way around the track. And Douglas, we got them.
We most definitely did get them.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate everybody out there in the stream, out there watching our broadcast here tonight with the USORL series on a fine Thursday night. Quick early call here tonight, but that is going to be great. I appreciate you guys. Get a good night's sleep here tonight. We will see you next Thursday at New Hampshire from the booth here. All right. Until then, be well, be safe, be kind, and we'll see you there.